Tasmania has not had mainline passenger railways since 1978. Over this time since, the Don River Railway has been collecting, restoring and running the old carriages, locomotives and railcars. Today, I'm going to see and ride these historical pieces and even get invited into the cab of this train for an exclusive view of the track ahead and the operating systems. Join me as I explore the Don River Railway. After a long drive and a few nice things along the way, I arrived at the Don River Railway's Don Village station. Don Village is situated at the site of the former Don Village, or just simply Don Railway Station. The station was on the old Melrose line, which ran north-south through the town. It is situated near a small park and the Don Road. A rail trail heads south along the now gone alignment to Tuggerah, while the operational Don Railway heads north. It's within the suburb of Don, and the original station building is still there. Upon arriving in the car park, walk along the path briefly with views of a few trains on a siding beside the station. You head up a ramp and into the station building. You can purchase tickets and books, as well as small snacks and other merchandise. In a neighbouring room, there is a museum on the history of the railway and the broader railways across Tasmania. There are hundreds of rail artefacts and a very miniature railway that you can operate at the click of a button. I remember visiting here years ago and having to pay $2 to operate the railway, but now it is free. Okay, so I'm here on the platforms at Don Station, or Don Village. Here's the train we'll be riding today. It's made up of a combination of a bunch of old train sections. So I guess we'll just choose which ones we want to go. Lots of stuff you can see around here. Here's some of the old locomotives you can see along here. CCS 23. These are, I believe, DP class rail motors, or old ones. These were the main passenger trains they used. And I think we're going to have this West Coaster locomotive 1002 pulling us, but I'm not certain. There's some old other trains over there. There are the workshops. I believe they were stopped because of fire last year, and here is our, I don't know if this is ours, but this is a locomotive. It's on. So it's interesting if that's ours, because it could be. It's very wet today, if you can't tell. You can see the points over there on the track. So if that is that's going to have to go up there, then reverse back. So I don't know if it will be. Could be. That'd be interesting. Seeing shunting movements here. Well, I think it's more likely it's this West Coaster 1002 instead of this DP class, because the DP class is like a rail motor, so I'm not sure if it's going to be holding it like a locomotive. Seems weird if it would be. There's some more recent freight locomotives. Okay, so we're riding this DP class rail motor, and now I'm on the railway. Just a note, it was at about this time that I got invited to go up to the front So, yep. It was at this point that I went up to the front.
There's a bed.
Here you go. Just watch out or wobble
Don Junction, now known as Coles Beach, is at the other end of the remainder of the Melrose Line, beside the Western Line. It was formerly known as Don before being reconstructed in a Don Junction from the opening of the Melrose Line. It served as a junction until 1963 when the line closed. In 1976, when the Van Diemen Light Rail Society began running heritage services down the line, it was started again as a junction. In 1978, the remainder of the station closed and it became known as the Coles Beach Station. Until 2004, it was still a junction station, until the points were disconnected and it became a terminating station. At this point, it was
When they poured across the border, I was cautioned to surrender. This I could not do. I took my gun and vanished. I have changed my name so often. I've lost my wife and children, but I've many friends. And some of them are with me. An old woman gave us shelter, kept us hidden in the garret. Then the soldiers came. She died without a whisper. There were 3 of us this morning. I'm the only one this evening, but I must go on. The frontiers are my prison. Oh, the wind is blowing. Through the graves the wind is blowing. Freedom soon will come. Then we'll come from the shadows.
Les amants étaient chez moi, ils me dirent signe-toi, mais je n'ai pas peur. J'ai repris mon âme. J'ai changé 100 fois de nom, j'ai perdu femme et enfant, mais j'ai tant d'amis. J'ai la France entière. Un vieil homme dans un grenier, où la nuit nous a cachés, les Allemands l'ont pris. Il est mort sans surprise.
Oh, the wind is blowing. Through the graves the wind is blowing. Freedom soon will come. Then we'll come from the shadows.
After that brilliant ride, we are back at Don Village. To finish this off, we will have a look around their rail yards and even enter one of the locomotives. Okay, so I've gotten off the train now. Now it's time to look at all the exhibits they have around here. Which is this, which I think is an old signalling box. And see all the trains over there, we'll be able to explore them later. No, they don't walk. Let's see if I recognize all this. Branksome, yes, Scottsdale, Street, Woodbury, yeah. Vermont. I don't know where Vermont is. So Devonport towards Brady. No, there's nothing here as well, but Haybridge and Ulverston there. Hanley. Yeah, I know that is. Okay, so we have just left the signalling box now, looking around the freight zone. So that's the function center. But who would have got here? More trains, such as these different rails. I recognize some of these. I have a book about trains in Tasmania, so I recognize a bunch of these. Here's the big turntable. There's one of the old Tasman Limited carriages over there, and where to go all the way over. There's very wet stuff. Here's some more. And we got to go all the way around to the back. I believe there might be somewhere we could go inside, because that'd be very nice. We could go inside at some of them, but I'm not sure if you can. I seem to remember being able to go in here, because I've been here before, a long time ago. I seem to remember being able to go in that one. Yeah, look, I'm going here. Nice. Now, what's it like in here? No. Yeah. Nice. Very good. Look. This locomotive at similar club had details. Now, is there a nice view out from here? Yeah. Pretty nice. Are there any others that I know in? Also, I presume there won't be, but if there anyone from Donald Railways watching, it's very hard to find these. It's not easy to try and figure out how you get in there. So, yeah. More stuff around here. I think that's another LWR carriage. More Tasman Limited carriages. Guards van. Okay, so now time to look at these more modern freight trains. So there's this. I think this is like a AN Tasrail, I think. I'm not sure, because yeah, 2114. So is that a 2050 class? I'm not sure. Tas Transport Network. Then here, AN Australian National. Or is it AN Tasrail? it would be the Australian National Tasrail. I don't know. It's 1950. Yeah, it's Australian National. Then this is a Tasrail. So these are like the modern ones, or the ones they use nowadays. These sort of ones, I think. Well, or maybe they don't, because it has to be a reason why it's here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tasmanian.
When they poured across the border, I was cautioned to surrender. This I could not do. I took my gun and vanished